Real quick, if you're interested, I am on Letterboxd. My account name is Jackson Krieger. Give me a follow. The film Saltburn is one that, at its core, is designed to surprise you. That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to surprise you, and it does it in several different ways. One, just narratively, setting something up, but then going in a different direction than it knows you're thinking it's going in a lot of very clever ways. It doesn't always work, but it does always surprise, in my opinion. It also is going for surprises in a different way. It does it by kind of shocking you, by having actors do things that you didn't expect to see them do, specifically Barry Keoghan. I think it's how you say his name. It's still haven't figured that out. He's a great actor. He's great in this. And he definitely is willing to do some things that you wouldn't expect most actors to be willing to do. So definitely that is part of the appeal of this movie, and also what's going to turn some people off. Again, if you're someone who doesn't love watching gross things or, I think shocking things, maybe this is not a movie for you. But I'm someone who, on this channel, I talk a lot about how I just want to see something unique. I want to see something different. And, definitely got what I paid for here. Definitely a unique movie. So what is it? What is Saltburn? Well, to read the IMDb plot summary real quick, just the quick one. It seems like it's in two parts. I'll just read the first part of it. A student at Oxford University finds himself drawn into the world of a charming and aristocratic classmate who invites him to his eccentric family's sprawling estate for a summer to never be forgotten. Doesn't sound that crazy there, and it doesn't start off like balls to the wall crazy or anything like that, but it does get there at times. Several things I loved about this movie. Like I said, the way it keeps you on your toes and the way it's genuinely surprising in certain moments, I think is it had its flaws, but I think it really had its strengths as well. And in fact, there's even, I'm going to get to spoilers at the end of this video because we got to talk about the ending and all that stuff. But, I think there's a point where if the movie ended at a certain point, I'd be talking about this as maybe like a masterpiece, maybe like that good. I think it had its drawbacks as well, though, with some of those kind of trying maybe too hard to just subvert the audience's expectations. I thought that while some of it certainly did work, it didn't always work. I saw someone somewhere say that this is the kind of movie that is made for people who think that they're smarter than other people because they like indie films, and to some degree that's kind of describing me. So like I thought I would be all in on this one, and again, there were so many things that I liked about it. I love a good 4:3 aspect ratio. I don't know what it is, but I'm all about it. I think 4:3 is I don't know why, but I love that aspect ratio, and I thought it worked beautifully in this movie. All the colors were fascinating. It's a really visually, I think, masterfully shot movie. I loved all of that aspect of this film. It's just really some narrative choices that I thought didn't work. I mean, the acting, talk about going for it. Barry Keoghan, willing to do a lot of things that I think a lot of actors wouldn't be willing to do. Jacob Elordi is awesome in this one, as he's really what a couple weeks this guy's had with this and Priscilla coming out right at the same time. He's kind of taken his career up a notch here. But yeah, as a whole, I think I'll sort of finish my non-spoiler thoughts now and then get into more spoilery discussion. My non-spoiler thoughts, plain and simple, I think this is a movie to watch because it's a unique movie, and it's worth seeing on the big screen because it is so visually fascinating. And I would still say, like, my overall rating out of 10 is going to be like a 7 out of 10. Like, I still think it's a good movie. I still think that the pros outweighed the cons. I think I was just kind of frustrated at the ending of it, so I'm going to get to the ending of it and why it was kind of a masterful movie that fell short of really being a masterpiece, in my opinion. So yeah, let's get into spoilers now and talk about what I thought went wrong. So to explain what happened, if you're someone who knows you aren't going to watch Saltburn but just wanted to hear someone talk about it, what happened at the end was it was revealed that instead of Barry Keoghan kind of going here and really just being kind of a lonely guy who wanted to be friends with someone, and that's kind of why, part of why he was so weird this whole time. No, it turns out he's just kind of a weird guy who also was a mastermind and trying to take over the whole family fortune the whole time. And it really didn't work for me at all, to be honest. And I think the main reason why I didn't love this twist was because part of what I was so fascinated by throughout this movie is Barry Keoghan's character, and the fact that he is this off-ball weirdo who you kind of empathize with. Like, it's revealed, one twist I really liked, I actually loved, was the reveal that turns out that, instead of coming from nothing and coming from a home of alcoholism, and, his father died, which was a big, moment early on in the movie, turns out he made all that up just to get closer to Jacob Elordi's character. I was like, oh, that's actually really, kind of heartbreaking, but really clever, and you can understand why, just knowing Jacob Elordi's character and how he kind of has everything, is spoiled, doesn't realize why anyone would lie like that. It's just like, dude, what the hell? Why would you do something like that? I thought that was like a perfect moment, and really was fascinating with that character, and it makes you feel for Barry Keoghan, because I don't know, I feel like everyone at some point has told some stupid lie to try and make someone like them better, right? Usually it's not as big of a lie as my father died, and usually it's not, when you're an adult, usually it's maybe when you're, 13 or something like that. But that is, I think, a somewhat relatable thing that was just kind of, in a very kind of severe way, and really worked for me. And I thought that kind of his, weird sexual desires throughout this movie was fascinating as well. And it worked for me because I'm like, well, yeah, he's a guy who he doesn't know how to do this, and he's trying to do this, but he doesn't know what he's doing really, because he's never, my interpretation was he was a virgin who was just kind of unused to this kind of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he kind of, because of that, that's why he was the way he was, and that's why that character was the way he was, and that's what I was fascinated about with watching this movie. And then it's revealed at the end that he's a mastermind. This was all his plan all along, which I just didn't like. I just didn't think that makes the movie more interesting. I think it makes it less interesting. It's more interesting if he's just a weirdo who ends up deciding to kill his friend in a maze because he was heartbroken and it was a crime of passion, essentially. To me, that's a more interesting movie than the, Kaiser Soze esque ending. I just didn't understand why they decided to go with that. I mentioned earlier where the movie should have ended, which I thought it was ending, and I was like, wow, this is a great ending, was just him, on top of the grave. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. I don't have to go into more detail than that. I thought they would just do that. I thought credits were going to start rolling. We'd have like a Pearl ending or a Call Me By Your Name ending where it's credits roll as we still see a character, but just, dialed up to 11 with that kind of thing. To me, that's where this movie should have ended. And then it kind of kept going, and it's, oh, well, now he kills the sister, and now he, kills the, the mom, and it's just sort of like, okay, again, I don't know. I don't think it needed it. I think it kind of ruined the movie in a lot of ways. Some other parts that I think that you could argue weren't great, I didn't have an issue with them, but I know some people didn't love, is some of just, again, the weird stuff. We don't need to get into it. If you've seen the movie, you know what I mean. The weird things that Barry Keoghan's character did throughout this movie. A lot of people felt like it was kind of the movie trying too hard to be quirky. To me, if you cut off the ending, I don't think it's that way, because then it's the character. Then that's just he's a weird character. He's a socially awkward, kind of socially inept character who just doesn't really understand the world. That's, to me, a fascinating guy to watch a movie about. But instead, no, he's a mastermind who was able to steal a family's fortune by doing this and plan this out super well. It's like, okay, fine. I even had some questions about that, but it just, as a whole, it did not work for me. And I still like the movie because I really did like how we got there. It's not the journey, it's the destination. It's not the destination, it's the journey. So the journey was really fun, but it's just one of those things where all the things I kind of liked about the first, hour and 50 minutes of this movie, now I look back at it and say, well, I guess that's not as fun as I had when I watched it, because that's not what I thought was happening. So that's just kind of my experience watching Saltburn. Let me know in the comments below if you had a different experience. Maybe you liked the twist, or maybe you disliked the first, most of the movie and didn't like it as much as I did. Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.